40 years ago, farmers and ranchers worked for a living. Now, the farmers and ranchers are spending two-thirds of their time working just to maintain the right to make a living farming and ranching. And it is wrong.
From what I heard this afternoon, it sounds to me like we have a flawed process.
81 people have spoken. 81 people opposed and against the KBRA agreement. There was no one who supported it.
The top level officials within the Department of the Interior predetermined from the beginning these dams were coming out and the course of actions that were going to follow with the Klamath Basin Restoration Agreement. How about storage enhancement? Especially if we add in a few billion of dam removal, we could have a lot of off-lake storage. How about constructing wells along the west side of the basin in the rain shadow of the Cascades? We can have the abundant junipers that have grown without fire management and take up to 40 gallons of water a day per tree. We could look at wetland drainage. We all know the evapotranspiration that occurs on a wetland is much greater than the consumptive use on irrigated croplands. Or what about restoring the winds and river flows? The idea of trucking around, standing around the dams. Not only does this help with the fish passage, but this also gets around the concerns related to salmon, parasites, and disease. I'm sure there's millions of other ideas out there, all invalid, at least to look into, at least to consider before we go down this road of removing dams and all the actions that come along with KBRA.
If any offstream storage is produced through any kind of process, that water will only be allowed to go for fish. Long Lake has been touted as the great silver bullet, but the KBRA, as written, eliminates that possibility, 100%. The Department of Interior has a CDM report, it's called. That study was done. That study was kept private, kept secret from the public's view until it was leaked to the media and to the general public the day after Senate Bill 76 was voted on in the Oregon State Senate. The dam removal costs are proven to be into the billions of dollars.
Water stored behind dams has many uses, including domestic, flood control, clean water power, irrigation, navigation, and wildlife. All of these uses make a great nation. I love it.
A few years back, the sea lions was the #1 enemy of the commercial salmon fishermen. All of a sudden, it's the water user. As far as I know, the sea lions are still sitting out there eating and damaging fish. My son is what they call a real-time power trader. His job is to balance the supply of electricity with the demand for a major city. He controls 7 dams from his desk, and he buys and sells power in 15-minute increments to keep the load balanced. I asked him about wind power. He said, 2 things, it's not reliable, and the only thing that makes it work is the tax subsidies. That's you and me. He said the only good thing about the wind is when it blows, he can buy cheap power and he can hold his water in reserve and use it when the price of power is high. I asked him, I said, what do you think about tearing out the dams on the Klamath River? He said, you're out of your mind.
When I'm creating a ranch, it's called Blue Ranch. And the environment was took away, I want to say 15 years ago. Now, if you go to that ranch now, it doesn't have any irrigation water running on it. It's basically cross between a desert and a swamp. And there's no animals over there. All the animals are on our side. And whenever you go through the Port Clinton Valley, it's, in my opinion, one of the most beautiful places on earth. And the reason for that is these ranchers and farmers behind. We keep green, we keep beautiful. I might be 3rd generation, but I don't know the last generation. Farmers and ranchers keep America, not environmentalists.
Resource Conservancy signed a settlement agreement in Washington, D.C. with Klamath Tribe 4 or 5 years ago. Several weeks later, I had a top-level Interior Department official come to me He said, we cannot let the Klamath tribe sign on because it's our only ability to get your upper basin water is to take and parlay those tribal claims into massive claims. He said, sell out now, because we want your water for the reclamation project, we want your water for in-stream uses, and any remainder we get is headed to California, to the Central Valley for further uses in California. That same reasoning has gone clear through KBRA. Our group tried to be part of KBRA. We were turned down. We represent all the active contestants of the tribal claims in the Klamath Basin.